Against this program in the name of Olodumare. So I welcome every one of you to Yoruba regionalism movement space. Welcome to our exclusive broadcast, the first of its kind I will be holding on this space. Today we'll be talking about a very important issue, matter arising, very, very urgent, which I call settler colonialism, an unforeseen threat to Yoruba land, political space, and indigenous representation. But before that, I would like to shout out to all the comrades in the house. I will have to thank every one of you. Thank you so much. Your enduring and your contribution so far. Thank to all of you. Tori, without you, without Olodumare, this space may not be. So I will have to thank every one of you. So today we are going to talk about matter arising, which is settler colonialism. Before that, what is settler colonialism? But don't forget, let me take you back to history. Let me refresh our memory. When we said Yoruba land, we have been faced with a lot of tribulations. When I said tribulation, Yoruba land, we were first taken to slavery. Let me begin from there. For over 300 years or 400 years, if I should put the estimation correctly, we were taken to slavery. We were displaced. We were forcefully taken away from our own land, our own ancestral land, unwillingly, without our consent, to foreign land. That is slavery. We were taken to America, we were taken to Cuba, we were taken to South America, North America, in Europe. Our people were displaced. That is the first of its tribulation, which I will mention. Another one is colonization. After that one ended, we now enter another phase, which I will call colonization. Colonization, we entered that one. We survived again. And don't forget, let me make this clear. When we said colonization, slavery. Colonization is way dirtier, brutal, more than slavery. Yes, it's way dirtier and brutal more than slavery, and I will make it clear. The reason is that colonization will happen on your land. So we were colonized by the Europeans. We worked for them on our land. We suffered for them on our land till our ancestors, our great ancestors, like Awolowo, Pa Jeremiah, like Pa Akintola, they fought and they stood for us. Yes, so that we can have our freedom, which they fought for a regional system of government, which they agreed upon. After colonization, we got a regional system of government, but it does not end. It does not end there. That is where it begins. That is where it begins. We have to be wary of settler colonization. It has never been ended. Yes, it has never been ended. It's only metamorphose. When something metamorphose, it's only metamorphose. So we have to be wary of settler colonization, because this is the most dangerous part of it. Now let me make this clear. I have to make it clear to every one of us here. We are no longer in the medieval era. We are no longer in the medieval period. You know, in the olden days, they used conquest and occupation to colonize people. And what do I mean by conquest and occupation? Conquest is true. People build empire. That is why every continent on earth were shaped, either historically shaped by one empire or another. If you look at the whole of Europe was dominated by Roman Empire. From Britannia, Western Europe to Eastern Europe. It was when Roman Empire fall, when the Western Roman Empire fall, the Eastern Roman Empire metamorphosed into what we call Byzantine Empire. Then another empire rises, which was now the Ottoman Empire. This was how every every continent in the whole world was shaped. And if you look at America also, they were shaped by either empire, and this empire was fought through blood, displacement, war, and brutality. That was medieval era, medieval period. Now I'm talking about 21st century. They were no longer using all those tactics again. You see, maybe people that are still so, I won't use an offensive language, maybe they believe because of the system they were confined to, because of the area they were subjugated to. Yes, like I'm talking about people who came from the Sahel region, the Sahelian. You understand, the normal from the Sahel, who are still using that same method, this same method to displace people and take lands. But trust me, those methods are no longer what they use these days. Modern day colonization happened through economic exploitation. That is the economic exploitation. Let me tell you this: before they can start exploiting you economically, you must know that this thing must first happen. First happens begins from mass migration, like the way we are seeing it now, like the way it's happening in our land. Mass migration. If you look at Yoruba demographic today, you will see that most of our, particularly, let me emphasize on Lagos, the demographic area of that place, of that particular state, has been changed. This is no longer, it's something that is very obvious. It's no longer in maybe in isolation, or no, it is very, very obvious. Before people can start mass migrating to a particular place, there must be a resource, there must be honey. That is where people mass migrate to. Now, according to this, when there is mass migration, the demographic will begins to change gradually. It will begins to change slowly. It will begins to change. That is a result of mass migration. When mass migration happens, now this is how economic exploitation will set in. Let me make this clear. When there is mass migration, there will be economic exploitation, because before colonialism can occur, the people must have a very unique ideology. I purposely emphasize on unique, because that is how they use it to operate. They must have a unique ideology before someone can say, okay, you come here, I'll bring you here. That is to say, he is ready to partner with that person. So that mass migration, there is already a connection which has already projected them as someone who have the same ideology. So they work together, they network together. So from there, once they started networking together, you know, our people believe in we are so emotional. We don't know what we call interest. Yes, we don't know what we call interest. And let me tell you, like I said earlier, Nigeria is a country of many nations. Every nation in this country have their own interest. If you study the minorities, their own interest is survival. They will do anything, they will align with anything for their own survivors and autonomous. It is only our people that play emotional politics. What others can never tolerate, but our people will tolerate this sheepishly and lack of knowledge. Because if we are knowledgeable enough, we will not tolerate such. Yes, we will not. Gradually they set in, and when they set in, they start projecting themselves, and through that there is economic exploitation. Economic and followed cultural imperialism will also set in. Cultural, look at what we are presently facing, thanks to all the comrades that are using their platform to speak up, to voice out. Thanks to all the comrades. Yes, because before, it is a taboo for you to say, especially the city governor, to address his people in his local language. They will dismantle him, they will shut him down, they will catapult him. He dares not. But now today, because of the hard work of our comrade, our people can now express their opinion in a way that suit them, in a way that will best reach our people in the locals, in the grassroots, thanks to all the comrades. So if we don't talk, if we don't speak up, there will be cultural imperialism. It will set in. I will still talk about the symptoms. I'm still highlighting all of these things so that we know, we will be awakened to know where the mistake is and where we have to make amendment. There will be cultural imperialism. I will never forget what our traditional ruler has faced from these people. Do they respect them? No. They tell it to their face that in our own this thing, we don't bow to anybody. They were so assertive, bold, and courageous. And you don't observe that. You don't know what is going on. You don't know what is happening. You cannot interpret it and process it. That is cultural imperialism. It's a form of settler colonialism, modern day. Maybe I have to refresh our memory.